Hello everyone, welcome to the Lungleng show. Today we'll be talking about the conflict between Israel and Lebanon. Last week on Friday we witnessed and we saw the leader of Hezbollah, known as Hassan Nasrallah, assassinated by IDF, Israel Defense Force, which is the army of the Israel state, the country of Israel. He was assassinated at his place, at his command headquarters in Lebanon. He was based in Lebanon while he was getting assassinated. So it created the news around the world why he got assassinated. And also his assassination brought a lot of joy and happiness to people who have been a victim of the terrorist group, which is the Hezbollah. And also it brings a lot of tears for people who supported him. So including in Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, we saw a lot of people coming out in protest against the assassination of this leader, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of the Hezbollah. So now for us, it's going to be very important to understand and know what is this Hezbollah. So Hezbollah is a name given to a political party as well as a militant group led by Hassan Nasrallah with the support of Iran. And this group was formed, a militant group. The United States called it and calls it a terrorist group. This group was formed in 1982 with having an aim to, totally destroy the state of Israel, annihilation of the Israel state, and also to kick out the Western influence in the state of Lebanon. Yes, in the state of Lebanon, they wanted to kick out all Western influences and install and establish a Shia Muslim-based Islamic-based government in Lebanon. So this is how it started. So before I take you to the background of the formation of Hezbollah, which is also in English is also known as the Party of God, which was formed for various purposes. So let's take a look into the formation process of this Hezbollah group led by Hassan Nasrallah, who was just assassinated last week. So the story began like this, and the background looks like this. So in 1978, Israel launched an operation known as Operation Litany. Litany is the name of a river at the southern part of Lebanon. So the purpose and objective of this operation was to drive out the Palestinian Liberation Organization, which was stationed at the southern part of Lebanon to launch several attacks on Israel. So that became a threat for Israel's state. So what Israel did was to start and launch an Operation Litany to drive out this Palestinian Liberation Organization, which has been a threat to their existence. So what they did was they ended up forming a South Lebanon Army, which is a Christian-led militia organization formed by Israel to fight against the Palestinian and the rest of the organizations that has been a threat to the existence of Israel. So after that, Israel totally withdrew themselves from the soil of Lebanon, from the South Lebanon. But they were not happy with it because Palestinian liberation organizations was overpowering them. So what they did was they again launched an invasion in 1982, which is known as Operation Peace for Galilee. So this operation was launched mostly to expel or to drive out again the Palestinian Liberation Organization completely from the soil of Lebanon, and also to install a Christian-led government. There should be no forces that is a threat and offense to the existence to the state of Israel. So the southern part of Lebanon became very important for Israel. As a result, an Israel-friendly, an Israel ally president was elected in Lebanon, whose name was Bajir Gemayel. And unfortunately, Bajir Gemayel, the president of the newly elected of Lebanon, got assassinated after a few months he was elected. And as a result, not being happy with this invasion and the presence of Israel in the state of Lebanon, there was a group of people who wanted to start an organization a political party and a militant group known as Hezbollah. So that's how Hezbollah came into being, to drive out Israel, to drive out the Western influence, as well as to work for total annihilation or the destruction of Israel. And with the emergence of Hezbollah in 1982, and Hezbollah is an organization, a militant group organizations conceived by Muslim clerics, mostly the Shia Muslims, and funded by Iran primarily to fight against the invasion of Israel on Lebanon soil. So once this group was formed in 1982, this group has been also known and blamed for their responsibility and involvement in the bombing of U.S. embassies and Western embassies in the state of Lebanon. So they have been blamed and accused for all the bombings and terrorizing the Western countries who are present in the state of Lebanon. So Hezbollah was primarily formed to resist the invasion of Israel into the soil of Lebanon, which went on and on and on. So until the day there is a tension between the Israel and Hezbollah group. That's why Israel resorted to an assassination of the Hezbollah leader and one of the founders, known as, again, Nasrallah, who was assassinated last week on Friday. So the tension between Israel and Hezbollah continued, and as late as 2006, there was a major war broke out between Israel and Hezbollah, known as the Lebanon War of 2006. That war got triggered because of the capture of 2 Israeli soldiers by the Hezbollah group on the border. So that escalated to a full-fledged war and continued for 34 days until the United Nations intervened and brokered peace between the two countries. And according to the peace agreement brokered by United Nations on behalf of the Israel and on behalf of Hezbollah group on Lebanon, in other words, it was agreed that the Hezbollah group would disarm itself. However, unfortunately, later on, Hezbollah started to pick up arms again and started the offensive against Israel. So that's how the tension continued to escalate until today. So as a result, there is a continued tension between Israel and Hezbollah, throwing mutual threats against each other. So the reason Hezbollah group became very bold and courageous in defying all the peace agreements was partly because they were strongly supported by Iran. The supreme leader of Iran was very close to them ideologically and in terms of religious points of views, because they all wanted to establish an Islamic state. Therefore, the Hezbollah-Israel conflict is a long-standing and complicated issue, deeply rooted in political, religious, and territorial disputes between the two sides, especially within the broader context of Israeli-Arab tensions. So therefore, the White House has made a statement on the recent assassination of the leader of the Hezbollah group. So here it goes. Hassan Nasrallah and the terrorist group he led, the Hezbollah, were responsible for killing hundreds of Americans over the past 4-decade reign of terror. His death from an Israeli airstrike is a measure of justice for his many victims, including thousands of Americans, Israelis, and Lebanese civilians. So that's a brief explanation of the background of why Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, got killed recently last week, and because of the long-standing and complicated and complex issue between Lebanon and Israel with the formation of the Hezbollah group in 1982. Thanks for watching.